Well, welcome to an exciting Rockets, my second year, and hopefully an exciting year again this year after our 65 wins and an almost Western Conference title with no hamstring injury. And we want to keep sports exciting in Houston. I know we're all in a little bit of a downer today, but hopefully the Rockets will brighten everybody up. So we're all here. Tad?
Retweet, I'm good. I'm here with my boss.
He's got plenty to say though. It's been an unbelievable first year. We have such a, to walk into a situation with Tad and Daryl and Rafael and the whole basketball team, the whole basketball operations team from Gerson to Monty to Eli. And of course we have Tracy and to handle so much. It's been a great first year. So we're truly excited about this year. We honestly think that we are I don't want to say a much better team this year, but I think basketball ops knew exactly what they were doing in the off season. We've traded out 6 players, and I think if you go back and you look at the history of all the players that we got rid of and the contribution of the players that we lost last year, I think that you'll feel like that we're a better team too. Does that mean that you're going to win 65 games again? Who knows? You could win 60, you could win 70, you could win 58. It just depends on injuries. We all know that. It's all about injuries. But I think when the going gets tough in the playoffs, if we do not have the injuries with the new players that we have, I think we're definitely a better team. And that seems to be a consensus from the coaching staff all the way up to basketball operations. Even the owner thinks that. So that's kind of my recap of last year and where I think we're going this year. So we'll be happy to take any questions.
Tilman, can you, now that you have a year under your belt, you've run a lot of businesses, can you just kind of talk about, have you settled into this role as an owner and what you like best about it? Not just this team, but being a part of the NBA.
You know, it's great. I mean, you're the boss and nothing happens without you, but at the same time, I think all these people will tell you, and you can ask them, that's not where I hang out every day. I run a big company, and I love being the final decision maker on the Houston Rockets, but we're extremely capable. This is definitely going to be a more interesting year because my handprints are definitely on this year more so than last year. They might have been last year with a few things more than y'all would have ever known, but and we'll never tell you. But it's fun. It's exciting. It's working with Adam and the NBA office has been great. But it's also just been great getting to know all these players a little better and seeing what fine gentlemen they are. And it's just amazing when you watch everything that goes on in all the professional sports. Our guys, in this sport seem to be the best, and especially our guys at the Houston Rockets seem to be a very special group. We're going to have good energy and good chemistry from the top down, and I think we have it. We had it last year, and we're even going to have it more this year.
Tilman,
everybody's excited.
I'm sorry, given what you did last year, your expectations this year, anything less than what would you deem a disappointment?
I mean, anything less than the Western Conference Finals would be a disappointment. And I'll say it again, I mean, you can be good, but you also need some luck. And if you look when Cleveland won, who was out at Golden State a few years ago, and Golden State's been very, very good, but they've also had the luck their way the last few years. If Kevin Durant pulls a hamstring or Curry in that 6th game at the end of the 5th game versus us, things are different. And you want to be really good to set yourselves up to be lucky. And I think we're good enough to get to the Western Conference Finals, and then you need a little luck, and that's anything except Western Conference Finals would be a huge disappointment to me. And I'll tell you that now, and I'll tell you that next May, if you ask me. Agreed, Ted?
Agreed, and I think organizationally, that's kind of where we set the bar. We know that, Daryl said it many times, Tilman said it when he bought the team, when we were communicating during that process. He's here to win championships, and that's what we aspire to do. We haven't had a parade around here in a long time, but that doesn't mean we're gonna shy away from the obligation to bring that expectation every single day to work. And that's what our guys believe in. We've got a really veteran group supported by great role players, with the MVP of the league right now in James Harden, and they want to win championships. This is one of the last things that everybody here, whether it be Tilman or our players, our coach, our front office, the one thing that we're missing in this organization right now is another title, and that's what we're going after.
Any other questions?
Tilman, there's been a lot said this offseason about the luxury tax. I think this is the first time that you guys are poised to pay it. Just talk about the role of the luxury tax, if any, in your decision-making this offseason and moving forward.
Well, I know we're in it a lot this year. It's a horrible hindrance, and if any of y'all ever wanna really understand it, go do the math on it. And I mean, it's just brutal, and you can take 5 million and all of a sudden you look up and it costs you 20 million. And at some point, you have to be smart, and you cannot get into the repeater tax, which happens if you've been in the luxury tax 3 years in a row. And that's something to really look at. And so at some point you have to do some things so you never go into the repeater tax. It's, you're just dead in the water, and it could ruin your franchise for years. So, it's something you have to be cognizant of. At the same time, a team is built on superstars, and if you have your top 4 or 5 players, you're gonna always see other players move in and out. Because it is a chess game playing with the luxury tax. That's why there's only 3 or 4 teams in it. And, but this year, to be able to make sure that we hopefully get back to the Western Conference Finals, we were gonna have to be in it around, many millions of dollars. And I am here to win championships, and I'm not gonna let 5 or 10 or 15 or $20 million make the difference. Because if you do win the championship, that's easy money back. Now, if we're in the luxury tax every year and we're barely getting into the playoffs, and the first round game is a struggle, then I'm gonna go find me a new general manager.
Tilman, what convinced you that bringing Melo in and put you over the top that he would add? How was it when you met him, and how were you convinced that he was the missing piece?
Well, everything is chemistry, and we have a really good understanding what we expect out of him and what he expects out of us. And this is a very talented guy. And you gotta remember, for the amount of minutes that he played, if you still look at his statistics last year, I mean, he still has a lot in his tank. I mean, I'll tell you exactly what I told him. We couldn't win a championship without you last year. And if we win a championship with you this year, you're gonna be the guy that got us over there. And so it's all up to you. And I think he has what it takes to help push us over. But I'm gonna tell you, don't underestimate Michael Carter-Williams and James Ennis. I mean, James Ennis is a very good basketball player. And the guys we got from Phoenix are very good basketball players. But I can tell you this, it's locker room chemistry, and that's as important as anything. And it's guys that look at the coach and do whatever the coach wants them to do, and that's very important. And I'll tell you, I think what we did in the off season is we're really good. I'll say it again, that doesn't mean that you're gonna win 65 games, but it all gets down to in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, we were able to put it in a different gear. We beat Minnesota 4-1, and after Utah beat us, to go up there and win those 2 games in Utah where they weren't even in the game, okay? We're a very good basketball team. Even the 2 games we lost, we had a 17-point lead in the 6th game and a 14-point lead in the 7th game. And if Chris Paul has been our stopper all year long. Every time a team got on a run, Chris Paul took charge and found a way to get a basket or found a way to do something. And you know, it's just disappointing, but that goes to the luck factor. So my job is, and Daryl's job, and Tad's job is to make sure we have enough talent to get to the Western Conference Finals. And like I said, let's just have a little luck then.
Tilman, how involved were you in the decision to acquire Carmelo Anthony, and what did you need to hear from him to make sure this fit was going to be right on paper?
Well, you know what you read in the media and what's really happening isn't always true. We all know that. And Carmelo couldn't have been any nicer, and he understood the role we want him to play, and that could be starting or that could be, you know, coming off the bench. But, you know, I think you're going to see that Carmelo's going to get a lot of minutes and he's going to contribute a lot.
You guys are coming up on 15 years now in the Toyota Center. Talk a little bit about how it's working. We saw the Astros sign a new lease recently. How's the Toyota Center working out for you guys thus far?
I think Toyota Center's doing great. One of the good things, not only about what Tilman has done and the revamping that we've had over the past year in some of the areas and what we're doing right now, but we've always kept it up to date. So we've retrofit a number of areas that we probably could have done a little bit better. One of the things is when you move into a building, you immediately realize about a year later that you could have done things better. And over the years, we've continued to retrofit it. I think the design, you know, when Tilman and I first got together to talk about the sale, he really liked the building because it's got great bones. You know, the way you look at it, and it's worn very well. So yeah, we're coming up on, you know, it's gonna be 20 years in a couple of years here. We've got a lot of ideas and a lot of plans on what we're going to be doing. We've been in constant communication with the Sports Authority and with the mayor's office about what the future could hold. And we're going to get into those conversations a little bit more detailed in due time when it's our time. And
What's happening now with a lot of stadiums in downtown areas is, first off, you're not going to find a better location than the Toyota Center and where it is now with all the you know, everything that's happened in Discovery Green, and that's all happened after the fact. And I think that's why, you know, what Jim saw with Minute Maid, you know, you've got the 2 hotel bookends, and then behind one hotel is us, and behind the other hotel is Minute Maid Park. And I think you'll see us continue to do little improvements every year, and then you'll probably see a major overhaul in the next 5 years. But it's a great building, and you're just not going to find a better location. And you know, now when you have all cities expanding the way they have, they're also running out of land to go build a project like Toyota Center. But you're not going to find a better location.
Tilman, you touched on Chris Paul kind of having bad luck and the hamstring maybe keeping you off from where you wanted to be. Do you feel like it's maybe time for something to break Chris Paul's way? It seems like every time he gets to a certain level, like, I don't know about curse, but there's just bad luck. Are you hoping maybe things finally turned his way this year for y'all?
Well, remember the Oilers kept trying to kick the door down, and it never happened. And sure, I mean, I think it should turn that way for Chris. It should turn that way for James. It should turn that way for me and Tad. We need a little luck. But absolutely. I mean, Chris deserves a championship. Chris has very high goals this year, and extremely high goals for himself, because he knows if he accomplishes those goals, chances are we're going to win a championship. But it is time, but you know, luck is luck, and it just takes a little luck in sports. You have to set yourself up again to be one of the best, and then you need a few things to fall in place.
Any other questions?
I'd say, I just want to mention one thing. To your question, your very first question, you asked about Tillman's first year of ownership and all. One of the things that has been so nice and seamless is Tillman's an operator. Many owners, when they first come in, they're not really as intimately involved in a business the way that Tilman is. He's got a multi-billion-dollar company. He's got 60,000 employees. So a lot of the touches and a lot of the operational details that the press wouldn't know about are seamless for us, simply because he already knows how to manage people. He he knows how to manage situations, he knows how to manage complex ideas, and the basketball team or the Toyota Center on the entertainment side is just one more piece to the Fertitta Entertainment Group. So he's very involved from everything, and he's been involved in everything in all of his businesses, but he relies upon his management team to provide him the information to make an easy decision, or to say, you do what you want to do. And so coming into an organization like the Rockets, one of the things I know that he saw and that we were presenting to him was he already had a stable management group in place. It had been in place, Dale and I both, for over a decade, and operationally things were working. But he's already made changes, and his family is already integrated into the business that many people wouldn't understand because of his understanding of operating a company. It's been so seamless, where in certain respects, you'll see owners come into even great situations, and because they don't operate things in that detail, they may just start making changes according to what they think may have to happen, as opposed to the information that they gather right in front of them. So it's been, the year has been one of great success, both on and off the court. We've had a terrific year, and a lot of that is due to the culture and the vibe and the energy that's been brought from the ownership on down.
Tilman, last year was your first year with Mike D'Antoni. 55 wins, 65 wins, coach of the year, but we also saw Dwayne Casey in Toronto, and it's a very, high expectations and sometimes, very cutthroat business when it comes to coaches in pro basketball. Where do things stand from your perspective with D'Antoni, and what are your expectations for him moving forward?
Mike is just a wonderful guy, and it's gonna be very, very hard to replace Mike. Mike is a normal guy. He's not one of these crazy coaches that you can't talk to before a game or after a game because he's in his zone. I mean, my best conversation with Mike is when we were on the bus for our first game at Golden State, and sitting up front together, because I had just acquired the team, and like I said, I don't really meddle and go over there. I don't feel the need to hang out with the coaches or the players, and Mike is a normal guy, and he's willing to do whatever we ask him to do, and Mike is going to be here as long as we can keep him here. I don't think you're going to find a better coach. I don't think you're going to find a coach that the players enjoy playing for as much as Mike. We're disappointed to lose Jeff. Jeff wants to go somewhere else in his life, but we feel like we've made good adjustments there with what we've done. But we love Mike, and we hope he's going to be here for a long time.
Ted, could you?
Hey, Mike.
Did you hear all that, or just part of it?
Just part about a long time.
What's that, Mark?
Now, he better win, though. At least 60 games. U of H, they have to win 9 or 10, he has to win 60.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
The in-game look, any expected changes of how the look at Toyota, in terms of the whole process?
There'll be upgrades on everything. I mean, we're always looking to get more effective in what we do. And I think you're gonna see some different in-game looks. You might see some different lighting in certain respects. You're gonna see upgrades on the concourses. We've added many of the Landry's concepts into the concessions areas this year. We've upgraded some of our lounges. So every year it's a desire and an obligation to the fans to make sure that we continue to get better, and you're gonna see the same thing this year.
Thank you.
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
That is awesome.